Hello, I'm back. I'm bringing back an old series. I'm polishing off, making it new again. We're doing the musical Felonies series. And this really came out of the idea of a few conversations I've been having in the last couple of days about there being songs that people just should not do for various reasons. Like, for example, and I don't think they're probably covered. I'm not even gonna. After what I'm about to talk to you about, I can't say this hasn't been done. But like Stairway's overdone. Like it's everybody walks into a guitar store and tries to play Stairway. Like don't do it. Just don't cover it. Don't do it. I wouldn't cover Wind Beneath My Wings or I Will Always Love You. Like stuff that's been like iconically like here's the standard. You're probably not gonna meet it no matter how good how good you sound, how great your band is. You're not gonna do it. So just don't mess with it. Then there are situations where people commit musical crimes, and that's really what this series is about. Like it's really scouring music to find the worst of the worst cover songs. Now, eventually, I'm probably gonna go back. There are two albums I'm gonna go back to, off and on, and do songs from these two albums because the whole album is just full of why. Duran Duran has a whole album of cover songs, and in my original musical Felonies list, I talk about 911 as a joke. I'm probably gonna go back and break that one down in this series. I talked about Madonna doing American Pie in that series. Probably gonna go back and do that one. Today, we're gonna talk about a situation that when I listen to it, I feel like I hurt myself. So Poison has this album called Poisoned that came out in like 2014, 2015. And it's a bunch of cover songs. And they cover Suffragette City by Bowie, which I'm going to come back and talk about. But the song we're going to talk about today is Don't Mess Around with Jim by Jim Croce. Now, Jim Croce had an all too short career. He has some iconic songs, most notably which is Bad Bad Leroy Brown. But Don't Mess Around with Jim is a great story song. If you go back and look at song facts and listen to interviews with his wife, what you'll find out is that he spent a lot of time perfecting these songs because when they got married, he went out and actually sold airtime for radio stations. And so, because he had so much time to just kind of work on these songs with his musical partner, Murray Mulson, by the time the songs got to airplay and being put on albums, the songs were like exactly what they wanted to be. The song is about a guy who was a pool hustler, pool shoot son of a gun, named Big Jim Walker, who is actually based on a real guy that Jim Croce met. And it talks about this song. It's a life lesson in some ways. There are things you just should not do. You don't tug on Superman's cape. You don't spit into the wind. You don't pull the mask off the old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. And as the story goes in the song, this guy, Willie Slim McCoy, who's the guy that Big Jim had hustled, came down looking for revenge, and story. Now, we lost the talents of Jim Croce to a plane crash in 1973 at the age of 30. He lived in Philadelphia. So yeah, I'm gonna put that on the Pennsylvania. I'll put at least one or two of his songs on the Pennsylvania mixtape. But he went out and worked in South Philly and was selling radio ads for radio stations in a lot of these spots. And he saw a lot like how gritty Philly was even back in the late 60s, early 70s. And he actually, like I say, met the guy, Big Jim Walker, who was a pool shooting son of a gun. And according to Ingrid, to quote Ingrid Croce, she says, I think often in Jim's songs as a composite situation. When he sat down to write, usually the song would come out all together, but there might be a verse he'll add later, or usually he'll sit down and play and come up with something new. So I've got hundreds of tapes of Jim performing, playing at home and the two of us singing, or just having friends over and singing, whether it was Manhattan Transfer, or James Taylor, Arlo Guthrie, Bonnie Raitt. People would just come over and hang out and sing, unquote. So the song, Don't Mess Around with Jim, has like a good musical history. It's a great song. Until Poison touches it. And part of the problem with Poison doing this song is that, now unlike, and this is a great contrast to the most recent video I've done. So when Bullet Boys covered For the Love of Money, the great thing about it being out of genre is that the vocal sells it, the song's arranged great, it's what you want to do with a cover song. Poison does none of these things in this song, like at all. Like this song, very few songs I've ever listened to in my life have hurt to listen to. Like I felt like something was wrong. Like it was. There's nothing good about this song. There's nothing. And what's crazy is the whole album is like that, where they're just. It's like here's the worst part about this cover. The absolute worst part about this cover is that it sounds like a band trying to be Poison, trying to cover the song. That's what's bad about it. It's not just that they did a bad job. It's that they even do a bad job sounding like them. That's why, it's got to be tried. They got to be convicted of a musical felony here. Because this is just, there's no reason why them covering it couldn't have been good. Bret Michaels is a good singer. CeCe DeVille and Rocket and the guys have always been fairly good musicians. It was the early 2010s, and I've tried to research and figure out, was something going on with the band? Like, what was messed up? I don't know. I don't have an explanation for it. That's this episode. That's Musical Felonies. I'm gonna put out something else today, right after this. So we're gonna edit, post this, put out something on a probably different series that I'm doing. Let me know what you think about this one. If you got any other really horrible musical crimes that you feel like need to be reported on, I'm here to do it in this Musical Felonies series. So, catch y'all on the flip side. Peace and Afro Grease.